Mac guys here on Birds 365 Wednesday get together. Mike Gill from 97.3 ESPN Radio down the shore, the host of Sports Bash, going to jump in with us in about 15 minutes from now. John, I either want to bring this to your attention or I want to ask you what the hey. Was thinking about the Eagles running game with this upcoming season, the addition of DeAndre Swift. How does he factor in? I asked Jimmy Kempski how many running backs he's got on his 53-man roster, the much too early 53-man roster. I love the much too early stuff. It just gives you stuff to debate and talk about, and we thank Jimmy for that. And he's got Trey Sermon not making the team. Don't know how that's going to go over with the coach. But because I was thinking about Brian Johnson and how he's going to call plays this year and what the Eagle running game is going to look like as compared to what it was last year. And the more I thought about it, I go, well, yeah, Brian Johnson's calling the plays, but it's such a hands-on offense. Nick Sirianni and Kevin Patullo and the like. And I had forgotten what Kevin Patullo's new coaching title was, that the head coach went out of the way to make sure that Kevin Patullo got some love this offseason, that he actually switched his title. Am I correct about that? That they somewhat changed his title, but didn't necessarily say his responsibilities were going to change at all?
Yes. It was. I brought up the Cheers episode, the Cheers title episode. Yeah. I mean, Kevin's very close to Nick Sirianni. I've said that from kind of day one. He's sort of I call him his consigliere. He's his right-hand man, even sort of when Shane was here. When he got the job, Kevin was one of the first people with him, and he was doing a lot of the legwork when he was trying to hire coaches and all that stuff, contacting people. They're really, really close. That's why I thought there was at least I thought there would be some chance that he would elevate him to offensive coordinator, but the Eagles were concerned about losing Brian Johnson. They probably would have lost Brian Johnson if they didn't elevate him. So it's one of those things, but his role's not going to change that much.
And correct me if I'm wrong, he went from assistant head coach to associate head coach.
Associate, because they already have an assistant head coach. Yeah, that's Jamal Singleton.
Pretty damn big title, which may mean absolutely nothing. But I just wanted to double check that. So I punched up the Eagles coaching staff from the Eagles website, PhiladelphiaEagles.com, and went to, okay, now he's associate. I'm pretty sure he was assistant at that time. And I went through the entire coaching staff. You know who's not on there, Johnny Mac? Matt Patricia. On the Eagles website, Philadelphia Eagles coaches, they run down all their coaches and all their assistants, and they all have a smart, shiny picture, smiling picture of all the coaches. I did not see Matt Patricia there today. Is that just an oversight? Is it a reconsideration? Is it a Matt Patricia's going to be the guy behind the curtain all year long? They've already got one guy behind the curtain. His name's Sean Desai. We haven't met him yet. He's the actual his picture's there. I can pick him out of a six-pack now because his picture's right there, right under the head coach, as the coordinator should be. Sean Desai is there. Did not see Matt Patricia. Just an oversight or a mistake, or you feel free to punch it up and tell me that I'm wrong. Jody, what the hell's wrong with you? Yeah, all right, fine. It was 7:15 in the morning when you were looking at the Eagles website to find out who their what title Kevin Patullo had, and how the hell did you miss Matt Patricia? He's right there. I went over it 3 times and I didn't see Matt.
No, he's not there. He's not there.
What the heck?
We were talking about that on the draft. During the draft, they still have not confirmed it. Adam Schefter confirmed it. All of us, it was on the website, and they took it off. I told you that story.
Yeah, you saw it for what, 22 seconds or something?
So he's expected here. Why it's taking as long as it's taking, I don't know, but maybe that's an indication that maybe he shouldn't be here. I don't know. He's supposed to be here. When the Eagles, finally admitted, and they've talked about it before. And Nick said it, by the way, because he was asked, and he said, yes, it's trending in that direction.
Trending.
Why it hasn't happened yet, I can't tell you. We had too much. We didn't ask him about that because we had too much draft stuff to go over. But, when we see Nick next, which will probably be on Friday, I will ask him that.
Fair enough. Do you read into that Patricia was not certainly, well, I shouldn't say certainly, but probably not in the building. Nobody saw him in the building. He was not consulted at all during the draft. Different teams run drafts differently, and you kept getting the shot of the Eagle war room. And I saw Sirianni, but I didn't recognize any of the other coaches specifically in there. Do you think that Matt Patricia is not going to be consulted or is not?
No, well, I mean, in his role, he would not be, a big part of the draft process anyway. So, that's sort of like whatever his title ends up being, senior defensive consultant is what was up there. He's not going to be, game planning or involved in scheming or things like that. That's obviously going to be Sean Desai, and he's the one you're sort of drafting for, so to speak. So either way, he wouldn't have a big role when it comes to stuff like that anyway, even in the job he was supposed to be getting.
What do you think a senior defensive consultant actually does do?
Well, it's different for everybody, but it's, you have these...
there's no dictionary to look it up in. So yeah, I'm just,
if you look at it,
speculate here for me, big guy.
Past couple years, with Jim Bob Cooter offensively did special projects. Marcus Brady, they brought in to sort of, explain what defenses might do to try to attack certain looks. Vic Fangio, when he came in for the 2 weeks, was helping the offense in the opposite direction. How is the defense going to handle this? Those are the types of things the Eagles have typically used consultants for. So, how that shakes out, we shall see. But yeah, I mean, he's not. Sean Desai's the defensive coordinator, so he's going to be the one in charge of the defense and all that kind of stuff. So it's not like Matt Patricia's going to, and maybe the Eagles start thinking about this, and they saw the groundswell of interest because of the history, not only of Matt Patricia, but his history with Darius Slay and all that kind of stuff. And then started thinking about, and again, this is just speculation, started thinking about, hey, we got a young defensive coordinator, doesn't have a lot of experience in this role. In this town, you just saw what happened to Jonathan Gannon. You really want Matt Patricia hanging over his shoulder?
Yeah, here's why you want Matt Patricia hanging over his shoulder. What does Jeff Lurie like to do when things don't go well, Johnny Mac?
Scapegoat.
Scapegoat. Yeah. I can't think of a better scapegoat than Matt Patricia. If the defense isn't going well, Patricia's influencer, blah, 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 blah. It kind of takes the heat off the side. If you've got somebody to drop the baggage on, why not have a rarely recognizable name to drop the baggage on? If there's going to be scapegoating.
Can I just get something? I just have to say this. By the way, 2 things. Randall Cobb signed with the Jets. You're going to have a lot of fun with that Aaron Rodgers. Evidently, Adam Schefter was on talking about.
Since you went there out of nowhere, Randall Cobb be on the team. He'll get to hang out with Aaron Rodgers. He's not going to get the ball.
Yeah, he's going to throw the ball to Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, no, I'm not worried about Randall Cobb taking throws from other better young wide receivers. Rodgers just likes having his buddies around him. He
He
likes getting them contracts. He likes
Yeah.
to be able to say, "Hey, you're here because of me." So yeah, when you acquire Aaron Rodgers, you know you're acquiring that as well.
So,
He's
you
gonna
know,
he's gonna take up a couple of spots on the 53-man roster because you're gonna have to go get his guys.
and more important, locally, evidently Adam Schefter's on. Adam's great, obviously. So let me quote. It's quoted here. It impacted where these people can't turn the page on Jonathan Gannon. He's not here. Here's what Adam said. It impacted a lot of people's lives. Like Vic Fangio probably wouldn't have taken the Dolphins job and stayed in Philadelphia if things didn't go down the way it went down. Okay.
Whoa. Somebody's got to explain that to me.
Yeah, the calendar doesn't work, knuckleheads. Like Adam is great. Adam gets stuff wrong. Here's an example of Vic Fangio agreed to become the Dolphins defensive coordinator on January 29th. You know what January 29th was, Jody?
Day before my birthday?
Day before your birthday, also the day of the NFC Championship game. The day of the NFC Championship game is when he took the job as defensive coordinator with the Miami Dolphins. By the way, to become the highest paid coordinator in NFL history. That's part of it too.
Right. Which, oh, by the way, and I'm sorry to interrupt you. I'll let you make your whole point. Why the hell did the NFL allow that? If he's the defense coordinator of the Dolphins, what the hell is he doing consulting the Eagles going up to the Super Bowl? If he's already working for another team, agreed to work for another team, yeah, but I'm not going to start for 2 weeks. I'm going to just do this little side gig.
Agreed to because he didn't sign the contract, so he's not under contract.
Well,
so
then he didn't become the defensive coordinator on the
no, 29th. But he agreed to terms to be the defensive coordinator of the Miami Dolphins. Now, Vic Fangio,
problem the league has then agreed to terms, but until you put your name on that dotted line, did you or didn't you become the defense?
Well, it doesn't matter. Do people think he was going to step out of an agreement of terms with the Dolphins to become the defensive coordinator? The calendar is my point. It doesn't match up, you stupid conspiracy theorist idiots. It doesn't match up. He had already taken the job with the Dolphins before tampering started. God, these people drive me insane, Jody. Man, Adam, by the way, Adam's probably on the radio this morning. He's talking stuff off the cuff. Understandably so. I'm not blaming Adam. The calendar doesn't match up. This is a problem with these conspiracy theorists. They don't ask the simple questions. The problem with Vic Fangio and the Eagles was Houston. Now, Jonathan thought he was getting the Houston job for the second consecutive season, and they did a 180 and turned away from him again. Had he gotten the Houston job, yes, Vic Fangio would probably be the defensive coordinator in Philadelphia. That was the issue. Houston, not Arizona. But man, these morons can't give it up.
Yeah, see, then you know who I blame for all this? The Eagles for winning the NFC Championship game.
Yeah, exactly.
If they had lost, then the San Francisco 49ers would have been going to the Super Bowl, and their coach wouldn't have been available because he would have been preparing for the Super Bowl, and there would have been tampering with the 49ers. And Jonathan Gannon could have gotten a simple way to use it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think Eagle fans really wanted the Eagles to win that game. Since they did and went to the Super Bowl, you can't have your cake and eat it too. I think is one of the points Johnny's trying to make here. All right, he's McMullen. I'm McDonald. That makes us Mac a Mac on Birds 365. Coming up next, we're headed down the shore. Do we really want to go down here? Still freaking cold. Isn't it May, John? I got the dog out this morning. I got to put a quasi-winter coat on. It's cold out. When is the summer going to start? We'll ask the guy from down the shore. Mike Gill's next here on Birds 365.